Welcome back, everybody. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've known I've checked out a lot of RGB LED strips in the past year or two, but that doesn't mean it's over. This right here is the first RGB LED strip that I found that's under $15 shipped on Amazon and seems to come with the complete package. And on top of that, in this video, I have a unique implementation for this RGB LED strip that you probably haven't seen before. So as I mentioned, I picked this up for $14 and I think around 90 cents shipped on Amazon via Prime, 2-day shipping. And first thing I noticed when I opened the package was compared to the other LED strips I've checked out that usually just come in a nondescript brown cardboard box, this is actually a branded box and seems to be like a well put together package. So I'm interested to see if that remains true throughout the rest of the unboxing. So seeing what's inside, we have the LED strip itself, wireless remote, the unit that goes into the wall, and then the adapter that switches that power into the strip itself, as well as the IR receiver. And that's everything you need to power up an LED strip. So I think the big differentiator here is going to be the length of it, but we'll also find that out very shortly. So let me go ahead and open this up and pull it out. So here we are, we have the wheel right there, and I actually do have another LED strip I'm going to go grab just so you can compare, because I can also notice off the bat it's a little bit smaller in width and size than the other ones I've seen. So side by side you can see that the $15 LED strip is definitely thinner and a bit smaller than the longer and more expensive options. The LED little diodes also look like they're a little bit smaller, so it's gonna be interesting to see if they differ in brightness. And then the last thing I'm guessing would be the difference is the adhesive. So on the more expensive and longer versions, the adhesive's a big pad, it's really strong, it works great. But this seems like it's just gonna be a thin piece of tape, which isn't gonna be too much of a problem as long as it still sticks, but we'll find out shortly. So actually turning on the strips is as simple as could be. All you gotta do is take the actual wall plug and plug that in. I do have a free plug down there. Then you take this circular plug outlet and you plug it into this box right here. And then you take the 4 prongs from the strip and plug it into the 4 prongs here. And the only thing you need to be paying attention to here is to make sure the arrows match up. I can bring it a bit closer so you can see that. Yeah, you can see there's a little arrow on the black part and a little arrow on the white part, and you just make sure those match up. That'll make sure the colors are in the right area because each of those wires represents a different color. So you just go ahead and plug it in. So it's technically powered from the wall right now. Let's see if it focuses back. Then you just take your remote and click on. So I can definitely notice that compared to the other LED strips, these are a bit more spread out, the actual diodes, and they're not quite as bright. For the purpose of what I'm using, I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference, but that is worth noting if you really do want a strong LED strip with like really bright LEDs that are close together. You know, that extra $5 will go a long way. But if you're on a crunch for money, this is still going to work very well. Okay, so this is interesting. What I'm noticing here is that it looks like each of the colors is actually on different diodes. So it's not diodes that can be any color, but rather different colors along the strip. So if you turn it on white, all of them light up, and obviously it doesn't actually look white, it looks rainbow. So that's pretty interesting. So that's how they probably cut the corner on the price there. That's very interesting. So the red ones are those, green, blue. Yeah, and I guess it is labeled, I should have seen that earlier, but the more you know, very interesting. And my plan with those LED strips is to give my bed an underglow. So right now, everything from my bed is in the wash. This is a perfect opportunity. I can just flip the frame, but I thought it'd be really cool if at the bottom of this frame, let me boost up the light a little bit, if at the bottom of this frame, there was just an LED glow going along the floor, especially at night when it's darker. I think that would look really cool. It would give a nice little mood lighting. I put it on red probably when I'm going to sleep because blue is a little too bright. Too much information, but that's the plan. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the frame on its side and then show myself installing it. I'm hoping there's somewhere easy to adhesive it to, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, so the angle is a bit weird now, but this up here is what is over here. And I'm really worried about the LED shining where the edges actually show, like not necessarily against the wall because they probably won't shine over there, or like behind the bed, doesn't matter too much either. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start up in this corner because that'll be right near the outlet that's down there. So I can plug it in through that, and then I'll go this way, down the bed frame, and then across the front of it, and then go as much that way as I can just because it doesn't really matter at that point. But up there is definitely where I want to start. Alright, so slight skip forward. It is now actually the next day, and you can see how it looks. Absolutely phenomenal. So a couple things I wanted to know about the LED strip itself. One, the brightness, totally not a problem. The fact that the LED diodes were a little further apart and everything, not a problem whatsoever, as you can see, especially just because it's shining down. If the diodes themselves were visible, it might look weird, but because it's just the reflection, it looks absolutely perfect. I did have to put some tape on it, on the bed frame, just because the adhesive wasn't super strong, and it's a fabric it was adhesiving to, not like a solid material or anything, so a little tape there, but that's no big deal. The other thing I wanted to mention is, let me grab the remote. So I have the sensor right down there, so I can change the color from there to any color I want. But what I wanted to note was white. Even though when you were looking at the actual diodes, because they were all different colors, the white looked weird. When it's just reflecting like that, the white looks perfectly normal. There's really no problem at all. It works perfectly. It's a little different, and I guess that's how they cut costs. But, well, when it's just reflecting off the floor like that, the white looks perfectly normal. So, all in all, it actually really surprised me. It seemed like they cut too many corners, but it looks absolutely great. So that's gonna be it for this video. Honestly, this video came out of seeing this LED strip for under $15, which I've never seen, and I was surprised. I was like, there's definitely gonna be a catch, or they cut too many corners. The packaging looked awesome. I was worried at first, just with like how thin it was and the diodes, but it ended up working absolutely amazing. And the video you were just seeing is during the morning. Like, at night, it's even brighter than that. It really does look awesome. So LED strips are getting cheaper and cheaper, under $20, under $15 shipped for a good working, well-packaged RGB LED strip. And I thought this was a cool way of implementing it. Everyone's seen it behind a desk or stuff like that, and I thought this was a more unique way. I'm definitely thinking of other unique ways to use LED strips around the house, because that's just a little more interesting, a little more flair where you're not exactly expecting it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you think of any other unique ways to use it. Of course, thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more content, and as always, stay classy.